Namaste. I see the divine in you as you see the divine in me. Namaste. And isn't this always the most beautiful way to learn to greet each other? As I see the divine in you and you see the divine in me, we learn to understand that we are learning to walk a higher path of love consciousness collectively. And working collectively is a very great challenge for us on more levels than we can possibly understand. But under the direction of the great Kairon, we can learn to walk collectively together as he gives the activated of his being, the Star Sacred World Healers, a code to allow us to learn to walk collectively together. And that code is so beautiful because it's about harmony, it's about learning to flow together in the love, it's about learning to work with the power of love consciousness, which we haven't discovered in this time of human consciousness yet, and it is something that we are going to learn to walk upon. So it's beautiful to be able to understand a whole new learning environment and what that means. As the channel, my task is to step out of the way and to allow Divine to speak. So that is what I will do, and that's why I close my eyes when they come in, because I've been asked by Divine to shut as many senses down as I possibly can to allow them to come through with flows and love and strength. So each time I go in, my channeling increases, and it needs to very, very much, and I understand why and how much it's being increased at this time. So it's going up very, very quickly. So I'm going to read the forgiveness statement because we all need to do a lot of forgiving. Kairon, I bring you now into my spaces of love and healing. I ask for your presence and for your love to be with me at this time. I forgive all that has caused my pain to happen. I release it now. I allow the angels to take it away for me. I bring in the love and the peace, and I desire to understand more joy and self-love. I surround myself with the highest loving divine beings who are here to take care of me. I let go of all fear within me. I release it. I trust that all things are perfect as they are. I'm ready to love myself and all of life more. Thank you, Kairon. Thank you, great divine love. And thank you for joining these beautiful spaces of divine love. And before I close my eyes, I'm going to just have a drink of water. So just excuse me for a moment. Namaste. Greetings, dear brothers and sisters, dear sons and daughters in the light. I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. Happy is the one who desires to understand these words and these ways, for that one is certainly wise. Happy is the one who desires to understand the higher path of love, for they are yearning within their heart to understand what is love and how to walk on the higher path of love. It is indeed a time of learning to walk a higher path of love for those who state they love the love and they love the light. For when you state you are a lover of love and light, where is your heart? For many state to my being, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have we not done all these things in your name, all throughout all the ages? Who are you, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great? And I will state to many, I never knew you, for you did not seek to know me. Please turn your ways, and please listen to these words, so that salvation can be your way on the highest road also. For only a few will ever make it to the highest road, and all the others they will follow. But only a few would ever be able to say, the greatest salvation is mine to have, great Lord Emmanuel. Those were the words that my designated channel Jesus used 2,000 years ago, as he was there also in front of a crowd. And the people stated, have we not served Lord Emmanuel the Great with our ways? And I, as Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, stated through my designated channel Jesus 2,000 years ago, I do not know you, for you do not seek to know me. The people there did not enjoy those words being heard, but it was so as it is today. For many people will claim that they are doing the works of the high Lord, the highest Lord, and the Almighty Lord, my being, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. Many will deny my existence. But we do not know of you, great Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. Have we not always been praying to your Son, Jesus? Is he not the Almighty Lord? And yet I will state to the people who state that Jesus was always the Word, and I, as Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, sent the Word to your planet, to allow you to understand the words from divine love. And the people 2,000 years ago did not desire the ways of the love collectively, and so they turned against the divine love element, Jesus, in those days, and by doing so they chose for the other road. So I, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have not returned to your planet until now, when it is time for the rising to happen. For the hearts have been tested all through the ages. What would the people desire to do? Would they desire to pray for the divine will to take place? Or would they follow their own will and desire the worship for themselves or worship other people? All things would always be tested, for as in the days of old, so the days of now would be. Many state today in your day, Lord, did we not do all these things in your name? And yet I, as the great Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, will state, I never knew you, because you did not desire to know my being, Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great. Jesus, my faithful word, was a man sent to your planet, and he desired to teach the people the ways of love and the ways that were coming of the love. And he knew that a higher road was coming, but it would always be the choice of the people, whether they desired to listen to the higher road or not. And so he always talked about the roads. The ones who would follow the highest road would find it a difficult road to follow, as it was narrow, and there were many challenges along the road, as the narrow road was not the most accepted road. But the wider road was the accepted road, and so the people could do whatever they enjoyed doing on that road. The people would believe that whatever they did not matter, and yet it was the ones that desired to follow divine will who would always know within their heart that following the wider road was not the wisest road to take. All through the ages and all through your lifetimes you have been tested. Which road did you desire to take? The ones who are awake at this time, I, as Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, will call the wise ones, and they will hear the calling, and they will see the channel rising. I always promised that the channel would return. The word would return to your planet. And in the same way that the people heard the words being spoken 2,000 years ago through my designated channel, Jesus, so also they would hear the words being spoken through the designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, and I will work with no one else, for no one else has been designated to take the highest path of bringing through the divine love messages. For the Word was created to create a road upwards, and this is why Jesus was persecuted greatly, because the people did not desire to understand about the way upwards. They did not desire the way of love and peace consciousness, and so when they chose for Jesus' death, though at that time he did not die, as many believe he did on the day of his crucifixion, they chose for his death, and they allowed the persecution and torture to happen. And so your earth came into the path of very much pain. Again, you have the choice now. Which choice will you take? Will you forgive all that has taken place in the past? Or will you still hold on to your old ways, thinking that your old ways are still your ways to take, and you are still saying, Lord, did we not do everything in your name? And I will state, I never knew you, for you did not desire to know me. You took the other road. Learn from the past and understand that the path is now here before you, like the old prophecies were always promised to you. Like the days of old when the divine love element was Moses leading the people into the wilderness and leading them to another path. So it is that my divine channel is here to guide the people forward to a whole other path, and that path leads to love and peace for those who desire to take the higher path, but who is listening and who is awake. Who says, I hear the great Lord speaking, and I know all these ways are truth. And what will be your action to show that you understand the ways of truth? Will you desire to come to the great mountain of light and of life, the great one who brings you up into the great talents and the great gifts, the one who I have sent to your plane, the great Chiron, together with my word, who is the universal light grid programmer? Will you desire your codes of life back? Will you desire to multiply your many gifts, so that upon your return in the greater realms of love, when you go to spirit, that I can say as the great Lord, Dear one, have you multiplied your talents? Have you shown how great your talents could become, so that you may earn the greatest seat in the greatest realms of love? Always there are choices for you. You do not need to take the highest road, but I will say, look at the consequences that have happened for the people who did not desire the higher road. For the ones who were living in the greater dimension of Lemuria, they turned their back on the divine love element, the Word, the one that brought through the messages from divine at that time, and they congregated together, all desiring the death of the divine love element, like in the times of Jesus also. Again, the great fall there was so great, and when you became humans, did you not suffer death and aging, and all the human consciousness that comes along with the fall? Do you not understand that turning your back on divine leads you to greater falls? Do you not understand that there is only one way upwards, and that is through the narrow gate? But like the people despised the word being spoken through the divine love element in ancient Lemuria when all the rebellion took place, like they did not desire to understand the words of the divine love element Jesus in the days of Jesus, and they desired his death more than anything. It is also today that many do not desire the words of divine to be spoken through the designated word, which is Suzanna Maria Emmanuel. And I, as the great sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, cannot take the people upwards who desire not the ways of love. For I, as sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, will only allow the people who desire the ways of love and peace, and to come into the great mountain of light, as that is the way upwards. I will only allow those to come into the greater realms. Why? Because they are the ones who are truly humble, and they are the ones who will inherit all that is given to them. And this was also Jesus' promise. Jesus always stated that it was the humble ones who would receive the paradise of love and peace. Those words have not changed, for divine purpose will never change. People will always change with their thoughts. They will always make up other stories and contradict the stories, but divine purpose never contradicts itself. For as the great sun consciousness, as it has always been, it will never change in purpose. For I, as sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, have one purpose in mind, and that is to evolve all who desire love consciousness, to allow them to come into the greater realms, into the paradise, to allow them to be seated so that they can evolve into greater love. I, as sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, do not desire fear and pain to be in the realms of love consciousness. For what good is fear and pain and anger and resistance in the greater realms? For then it will no longer be a paradise, which is why all things fell in the greater heavens. When the great resistance took place, they took what was so precious, and again in the greater realms, well before the times of Lemuria, well before the times of your earth, and going well back, in the greater realms of all of existence, again the divine love element needed to speak to the resistance and state, go and turn from your ways. For do you not understand that resistance in these spaces of love and creation causes disunity, causes disharmony, and it will break all things downwards. For how can you evolve upwards when there is pain within your consciousness, when you desire death within your consciousness? Choose for life instead, so that you may evolve upwards. So it is too that now you have the opportunity to evolve upwards or to fall downwards. There is only one way of true evolution, and that is to come into the greater road of love and peace, into the great mountain of light. For I, as Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, always stated, through my designated channel, Jesus, as I do now through my designated channel, Suzanna Maria Emmanuel, that a great time of separation would take place between the ones who desire to come into the love and the ones who did not desire to come into the love. And the ones who would desire to come into the love, they would be guided to pastures of green feeding, and they would become fattened, and they would hunger no more and thirst no more. For all their needs would always be taken care of, and I, as Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, will state, happy are those who desire the higher path, for they will understand great protection within them. They will fear no more, nor will they hunger spiritually no more, nor will they thirst spiritually any more. Who is the one who is desiring to listen? Happy is that one who desires to listen, for then all these promises can be given to that one. But the one who will state, Great Lord Emmanuel, I do not desire to do divine will, they will weep with many tears everlastingly, for they will understand now, then, that this is the last time they can make the choice. There will not be any choice lifetimes anymore. For now is the time when the door is open for those ones who desire to walk into the higher path of love. And for all those who do not desire the higher path of love, that door will always remain closed until they change their way, only in this lifetime, however. Or in all future lifetimes, they will not be able to come through that greater gate, because no longer will I send my word to those places. For my word has a very important task to do in all future lifetimes, and that is to lead all universes upwards, for that is the way and the road and the life of all of life consciousness. And in the greater sense, in the greater realms, you will see how important that road is. For upon your earth you cannot understand it, especially if you are blind to the spiritual lessons, especially if you are deaf to these beautiful spiritual lessons. Then you will not understand why the word is the gateway upwards, and why the word is the road of life everlastingly. For these words will sound foolish to those who are blind and deaf spiritually. But in the greater times coming, for those ones who have stepped through the gate, they will understand how true those words are, for they will see a road, and they will understand how important the word is, for the word is the one that will always guide all things upwards and all beings upwards. That one will be designated a very important task. So the word is crucial in all things evolution possible, and you must understand this message if you desire to understand how to walk on the higher path. Understand that I, as Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, hold no anger within me, for I am pure love. Do not think that I hold any grudge against anyone or any resentment against anyone who penned my word in past lifetimes. For then I, as Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great, will state, go and learn to forgive yourself, for it is you who needs to forgive you. For I am perfect, as you are too in the greater realms. I am love, and I am great love. I desire you to come into the great love, but understand how precious this time is. For those who are listening, they will say, happy I am for desiring the path of love. Please, Lord Emmanuel, show me the ways of love and show me how important the great mountain of light is. Greetings, I am Sovereign Lord Emmanuel the Great.
Greetings.